Hi, welcome to Monticello High School. You are in the CAD lab here at the high school. My name is Mr. Curry. I'm here going to kind of run through some basic drawing. We have two drawing styles that we're talking about in our Intro to Technology class. They are orthographic draws, or what's called a multiview drawing, and an isometric drawing. And I'm going to demonstrate both of those. We're going to start this out with doing an actual block study as we go through. The first thing, we're just going to start with a basic wooden block. Pretty simple to draw. We're going to do these as sketches first before we start going into AutoCAD. But we'll start with a basic block, and as you see, we've got length, we've got height, and we've got a thickness there. So sometimes you might refer to it as length and width, and thickness kind of depends on how it's oriented. So we're going to start that out with it, and we're going to draw these just on a sheet of printer paper. So go ahead and get your printer paper out. I'm going to kind of draw the outline of my paper up here. So we're just going to have this kind of in there like that for now as we go. Now remember, I talked about using straight lines as we go and trying to sketch so we have a nice straight line. So we're going to create the first thing here. We're going to basically put a border on this line. Remember, we're sketching right now. I want you to try to draw one straight horizontal line as best as you can. Try to get it as straight as you can. Really force your brain into trying to get your hand to act the way that you want it to do. So we're going to come up here. The best way, as when we're starting to learn how to sketch, I'm putting a point. Now notice, that point is 1 inch down from the top and 1 inch over from the side. Same thing over here. 1 inch down from the top, 1 inch over from the side. So put your pencil over here, and then you're going to look at that dot, and you're going to just kind of draw that straight line right over to there. My marker's not quite real dark, so we'll have to darken these up. Do the same thing at the bottom, and again another border line down here. Just try to get it as straight as you can. See that dot and go across with your two border lines as you go. Now we're going to also do a vertical line. Now I'm starting at this dot, go straight down, make that connect. Go straight down, make that connect. So, and again, this is a sketch, so try to get it as close as you can. As far as our vocabulary, you need to know that's called a border line. So we want to know what these are. Now I'm going to create what's called a title block. So, and our title block gives us all sorts of information as we go. So come up about 1 inch from the bottom. We're going to put the title block up here. Again, put your two dots. Start out onto one side, go straight across over. Try to get that line as straight as you can over there, and that's our title block. Again, sometimes you make it wavy, that's okay, we'll practice. Notice when I first did it, the waviness of here. So we'll practice the next time. Each time, sketching is one of those things. The more you practice, the better you get. So right over here, you're going to put your name. So in this case, for me, I'm just going to put Mr. Curry. So for you, put your first name and your last name. Right here, we are going to put the title of this part. So part name. In this case, we're going to call this block number 1. This will be block number 1. Put you another vertical line here to kind of segment this title block as we go. Here we're going to put the date. So I'll write the date here, and the date is 9/5/2018. And our class period right here, in this case, our class period, this is B3. So you need to make adjustments. If you're in A1, obviously you need to write A1 and so forth. So, all right, so that is basically our border line and our title block. And on each of these drawings, as we do this study, we're going to make sure that we have that there. So our first drawing is going to be the orthographic projection, where we're going to draw 3 views. We're going to draw the front view, the side view and the top view. And there's an orientation to that. So on your paper, we've got some other lines here that we call a construction line, which is you guys will be able to do this on your paper. I can't really do it up here on the blackboard, on the whiteboard. But a construction line with your pencil is a very light, faint line. You should hardly see it at all. And then the next line type we're going to draw what called object lines. And those are the real dark, solid lines. Your border line should be nice and solid, real dark as well. It should really stand out. Your construction line should be very faint. You should hardly see those. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break up this paper into 4 quadrants. And I'm going to use a construction line to do that. So real lightly and faintly, just again, do your horizontal line right in the middle and do a vertical line there in the middle too. So you got your paper broken up into 4 quadrants. We're going to use this quadrant here. This is going to be our front view. We're going to use this over here as the side view. And of course up here, this will be our top view. Now, this is just going to be empty space. In industrial drawings, a lot of times we're just using the 3 views. This is left empty for maybe some notes or other types of documentation issues and so forth. Or with modern day CAD, a lot of times we might get a little isometric to show us a complete 3D view too. But for right now, with this block, we're just going to do the 3 views of this. And we're going to start out with what we see as our eyes are looking straight on at that block. And all you see is a rectangle. Now we got some other terms here that we got to be aware of. So we got to think about proportion and scale. A couple of other terms that we have in these type of technical drawings. So, and what I'm talking about proportion is we've got the length, and there's a relationship to the height here that goes with the length. So if I sit here and I look at it, and I'm just looking, this is a sketch, so I don't have to be real accurate. I would say that probably my length is about 3 times that of my height. So I want to maintain that when I do it. Now I'm going to draw in the front, I'm going to draw that rectangle. And again, no, it doesn't matter, just start out. We're going to draw this, and that length of that is going to be about 3 times the length of the height. Notice in the front view, I am seeing length here going this way, and I'm seeing height over here on this one side. I got length and height in that view. Now, here in the U.S. we use third angle projection, and what that means is we're going to pivot to change between views. We're going to take our finger on this corner and we're going to rotate along this edge 90 degrees. So that would be what we see, and this is our side view. So again, pivoting here on this corner, there's our front view. As we rotate around, there is our side view. So again, we see that rectangular shape. In this case, we're probably about 1/3 the size in our depth at this point, because this is showing from our front view, this is showing how far back that goes. So now we're going to call that our depth. So, and we're going to draw that over here. But there's a relationship between all of these views. So we have to establish and hold that relationship. And to do that, again, we're going to go back to our light construction lines. So, and we're going to fill these in at every point. So from right here, we'll start and we'll go with a light construction line. Again, I can't do this real easy up here with the marker, so you guys get those nice and light. And we're going to go all the way over from our front view to our side view. Now we're going to do the same thing here at the top view. And I'm going to transfer these. This is why it's called an orthographic projection, because you're projecting these lines into another view. And I want to maintain some type of another relationship, and that is the distance to this. So I'm going to kind of just eyeball this in and transfer that. So using my fingers to kind of do a transfer measure. And now I know that this line falls right in here. Now, as you go, what you're seeing, my finger pivots here, so in this front view I'm seeing this. Now in reality, there are two lines, one behind the other here, and I see those when I rotate it around. So we've got the one in the front and the one in the back, but now here we're going to be on the two sides. And because we transferred these, we also know that they're there as well. So go back in, here is our rectangle like that. And again now, you still see height, but now we also see depth as well. So now we see the depth of this and we see height over here. Alright, transferring it up. Going up here, using my transfer measure just to kind of eyeball it. Some of us are better, like anymore, I can just look and kind of gauge what that measurement is. And up here, now we're going to maintain this. So kind of do the same thing with there and across. And now we've got our top view, front view, and our side view there as well. If I did this correct, at the center here I draw a 45-degree line. And if I projected everything right, I can kind of come up and across where these lines intersect, and I should have a pretty close approximation there as we go. So, and we see that there with the formation of this. So go ahead again. So this is block number 1. It is a orthographic projection. Orthographic projection. Also known as a multi-view. So that's our first drawing. So we will come back, and now we're going to, next drawing will be the isometric of that. Thanks for watching.